3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1024. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, you can do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. And if you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome and thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So, before I started recording, I saw the number 444. And I find that interesting because before I started recording the last video that I just recorded maybe like 30 minutes to an hour ago, I saw the number 333. And so, first, the number 4 is about stability on many different levels, psychologically, spiritually, physically, and it's also connected to your ancestors and them wanting you to have stability, psychologically, spiritually, and physically. Your ancestors do want you to be taken care of on every level. So I feel like they could be here for somebody to encourage you to make decisions that support your psychological, spiritual, and physical well-being. And another reason that I found it interesting is because the reading before this one, 1023, I also saw the number 111, not before I started recording, but after I started recording. And here we are with 1024, and I saw 444. So there's definitely something that feels very guided about the readings that I'm recording today, at least the one before, and this one. Maybe you do feel called to express yourself in some way or to remove whatever is holding you back from being honest with both yourself and those around you, the world, about your own thoughts and feelings and beliefs and who you truly are on the inside. Maybe you do feel called to manifest or to become who you truly are. I can see how that plays into stability, especially psychologically. I mean, our psychology and our beliefs do affect our physical reality. And not being honest with ourselves about who we are and showing up true to who we are, I believe is very psychologically damaging and ultimately has a negative impact on our belief system and the decisions that we make and the reality that we create. So if you do feel called to make changes to prioritize your psychological, mental, emotional well-being, this is confirmation of that. And it feels like your ancestors are encouraging you to keep going and to move forward with that, with these positive changes. Getting into the number 1024 now. The number 1 is about trusting yourself, and sometimes I do see it as believing in yourself as well, because sometimes to trust yourself, you gotta believe in yourself too. Trust in what you need to do to prioritize your well-being overall. And I'm thinking of the whole self-health card from the Ancestor Spirit Oracle. As I was really trying to clear my throat there, I laughed because I saw the number 456, which is a sign to trust that everything happens for a reason. And I feel like that for me is confirmation that somebody watching this may really struggle with using their voice, expressing themselves, being honest about who they are. And that's okay to struggle. And it's also okay to take your time to learn and understand yourself better, so you can better understand how to be more authentic, more honest. I don't feel that there really is any need to rush this journey that you're having with yourself, that, you know, your spirit guides, especially your ancestors, may be riding along with you on. Speaking of the journey with yourself, the number 0, that's a new interpretation that I've been getting with the number 0, that while there are other journeys, projects, relationships, whatever it may be, that run parallel to this journey with yourself, with self-love, self-care, that journey with yourself always comes first. Your well-being comes before anyone and anything. You are allowed to put yourself first, your needs first. Even your own desires, but that one's a little bit more tricky because we can't be too selfish, but I'm going to trust you to use your judgment. And I will say that if you are putting yourself first to take care of yourself, you're not being too selfish. I don't think, anyway. Like I said, it really depends on the context. Like, if you have kids, maybe somehow you could make it work, but I do trust you to navigate your own situation. I'm just here to offer messages that might hopefully be helpful. The number 0 is also about cycles. Maybe you're noticing some repeating patterns in your life or within yourself that are important to address. Maybe you're having some reoccurring thoughts, feelings that are working against you rather than for you. And this could be manifesting relationships and situations that also don't work for you but against you. I feel that there could be recurring patterns in certain relationships or just in life that are a manifestation of recurring patterns, thinking patterns, and feelings that you are experiencing. The number 2 is about many different things. It can be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation that you have on your mind right now. It can also be about inner peace and balance. I think that is why that's why not being yourself is so psychologically destructive and ultimately, like, spiritually and physically destructive, because when you're not true to who you are, it really, really messes with your peace. And in many different ways. It's probably going to be very different for everybody watching this, but I do encourage you to reflect on how hiding yourself, your own thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, how that is robbing you of your peace. I think that can be really, really helpful for someone to reflect on. The last way that I interpret the number 2 is your choices and prioritizing what means the most to you. And your well-being on many different levels, as supported by your ancestors, should be one of the things that mean the most to you. You should be part of what means the most to you, because you deserve to love yourself and who you are and what kind of impact you have on the world and the people in your life. I just get this strong urge to really, really encourage you to embrace self-love, because you deserve it. You deserve to have a better mindset about who you are. And having a better mindset about who you are helps you have a better mindset about life and what's possible. It offers you more freedom and less restriction and frustration. More freedom and peace. Yeah. The last number, the number 4, we've already talked about. And it's just confirmation, a strong confirmation that your ancestors are here. They are really, really, really trying to support you. So I do encourage you to pay attention. If you notice any signs, messages, synchronicities, I know that I recently did a video that got like 6 likes, which is a lot for my channel. And I can see why. I pulled out a card. It was an Ancestor Spirit Oracle card. It said notice the signs after I talked about paying attention to a bunch of signs and synchronicities. And interestingly enough, when I was thinking about what spread I was going to do for this reading, it is similar to the one from that reading. So if you remember that reading, I don't remember which one it was. It was like somewhere, it was like between 1018 and 1020. But that could be confirmation that this reading is meant for you. And I just looked down at the timer and I saw 1, 2, 3. Trust that everything happens for a reason. Maybe this is one of the signs and messages that your ancestors want you to pay attention to. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7. There were a couple of 7s in the previous reading. And that number is about being distracted by the word purpose right now. I don't usually interpret as purpose, but that could be confirmation of some form of purpose that you may feel or that you feel guided to find. But I usually interpret the number 7 as wisdom and expanding your awareness and your consciousness and really, really finding deeper meaning. Maybe finding deeper meaning in who you are and what you've been through will help you find a sense of purpose or feel validated in a sense of purpose that you already feel. Let's go ahead and move into the cards. I'm going to start with, well, I didn't mean to look at the bottom of the deck, but I have the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards. The only difference with that other reading was I pulled the Ancestor Spirit Oracle card last. Instead this time, it's going to come first. I mean, it is a little bit different in like the cards I'll be using after this, but if you saw that reading, you'll know. If not, don't worry about it. But let's see what card I have. Okay. This is actually very, very fitting. I mean, it is an Ancestor Spirit Oracle card, so kind of makes sense when we've been talking a lot about ancestors. But it says interact and relate, community, family, and traditions. Maybe there's somebody here from New Zealand. It's very clear that this card is encouraging you. I just saw the number 345, another sign about trusting that everything happens for a reason. But this card is really encouraging you to interact with people more and try to relate with people more, really, really finding a sense of connection, and this could be within your family, with friends, and in this day and age, maybe online. Because I know there are so many people struggling to make relationships beyond the internet. But I do think, because I saw that 345, that your ancestors are wanting you to communicate more, connect with people more for a reason. I think being more honest to who you are and expressing yourself more is important to these connections, or finding this sense of connection. And I just saw the number 444 on the timer. Yeah, your ancestors not only want you to put stability first, your psychological well-being first. But I feel like they really think that, connecting with other people is part of that. Finding people or attracting people who understand who you truly are. You could feel like you are surrounded by people who often misunderstand you and might unintentionally mistreat you, or intentionally, really depends on your situation. But I just feel like I'm talking to somebody who feels misunderstood and afraid, even really afraid, for somebody to be themselves. So like I said in the beginning, give yourself some time to learn how to be more true to who you are, and to, don't lose faith or hope in the idea that there are people out there that will support and love you for who you are, and won't judge you and will laugh with you rather than at you. You really deserve to have those relationships, and I feel that your ancestors believe that too, and they probably know better than I do that there are people out there that you really can connect with, interact and relate with. And when I talk about family, it could even be chosen family. Maybe there's something here on your mind that's weighing on you, that your ancestors want you to communicate with somebody that you do perceive as family, blood related or not. Maybe they want you to share these struggles that you have with being honest about who you are, being more true to who you are, moving more freely in the world when it comes to being who you are. And I'm seeing, let me actually try to find the card. I'm seeing the card that I saw at the bottom of the deck. There it is. It says, move your body, dance, breathe, and flow. I think that is really what your ancestors want for you, and that is in the future for you if you're not experiencing it right now. It's just important that you don't give up, and you keep your faith, and you stay patient. Especially if you're feeling frustrated, I don't know who to talk to, I don't have community. Give it time. Giving yourself time to be yourself, it's going to take time for you to align with the right communities and relationships for them to attract to you. You know what I mean? But I am going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out, I don't know how many cards, but I'm going to draw cards from these index cards. I'm just going to pull as much as I feel called to. Because with these cards, I do feel called to use them and to pull more than one of them. But if I pull too much, it starts to feel like, I just don't feel like I'm meant to pull a lot of cards with this deck sometimes. But I might. We'll see what I feel. Okay, first one that I have is dog. You could have a dog that feels like family to you. Or it doesn't even have to be a dog. Maybe there's an animal or a pet that your ancestors do want you to interact with, and maybe even relate on some level. At the very least, you could be like, hey, we're both animals. What's up? But a dog for me can also symbolize loyalty. And this is significant for some reason, and I will let you interpret that how you feel called to. Maybe there's someone in your life who does bring a sense of loyalty that your ancestors don't want you to overlook, or this is just a message that you do deserve loyalty, romantic or not. It says, I can't wait to see what spirituality means to you. This could definitely be more spiritual, like a message from spiritual beings. I can't wait to see where the spiritual journey leads you. I can't wait to see what all of this means for you, all of this weirdness, all of these signs, these messages. Maybe they already know. And they're just like, I can't wait. But, yeah. This could also be someone in your life who is spiritual themselves, and they want to connect with you more in a spiritual way. I'm just going to pull 2 more cards from this, I think. kind of feeling one of these. Let's do this one. Mirror. Every time I see this card, it always makes me think of that phrase, mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the finest of them all? And I also interpret this card as taking a look at yourself in the mirror as a form of being honest with yourself. I think looking in the mirror is a good way to connect with yourself. Me personally, call me weird, call me crazy, I would look in the mirror to look at my eye. You know, like the black part of it? I mean, they do say that the eye is the window to the soul. So maybe I was just trying to take a peek at my own soul. I don't know. Maybe you feel called to do that and just really look in the mirror and be like, who am I? You know? This could even be about somebody in your life who is more like you than you may or may not know, and maybe you'll be surprised or at least find comfort in being able to relate. Oh, perfect. Talk about interact and relate. So I feel like that's strong confirmation for somebody that there is someone in your life. Maybe they already showed loyalty to you, or if you are honest about how you feel with them, they might actually relate more than you think. Oh. This passion is maddening. Now, could definitely be a romantic situation. But this passion could also be something that just really exists deep within you. What really, really makes you angry? What really, really makes you feel rage and passion? I feel like you might have experienced some sort of injustice, or there's an injustice in the world that is really firing you up. And I really think you should pay attention to that, you should listen to that, and you should respect it. Because that passion, that anger is so powerful. And I feel that your spirit guides, maybe even your ancestors more specifically, want you to use this anger and this rage and this passion to work for you rather than against you. Anger and passion is definitely a double-edged sword, and we can use that to hurt ourselves and those around us, or to love ourselves and who we are, and love those around us for the same reasons. I do think you have an opportunity to experience more love by being more honest about how you're feeling, who you are, like I've been saying, and being able to connect and relate with somebody who knows. Maybe this person, if you have somebody specific on your mind, they might feel the same passion, the same anger, and it can help you guys bond more. I really, really wouldn't be surprised if this was a love situation, because there's passion, connection, looking forward to the future. But as I've said as well, it doesn't have to be love related. It's very possible, even maybe you feel called to connect and relate with yourself somehow. I'm really not feeling that's super likely for a lot of people, because this card clearly depicts connecting with another person. But before you connect with other people, it may help to connect with yourself, to show loyalty to yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, look forward to your own future, and respect your own passion.